Hey guys, it's Steven. The courses that I have made over the years, including stock courses, options courses, arbitrage courses, have sold for millions of dollars, and tens of thousands of people have taken those courses. And I'm still surprised every day by the number of traders who don't have a repeatable process to do really the simple things in trading. So what I'm going to walk you through today is a very simple approach to a trade setup. If you just employ this simple approach, it's going to exponentially increase your success and consistency in trading. So let me run you through this framework. Again, very simple. I call it the SPOT framework. I put together a cheat sheet. If you want the cheat sheet, just comment SPOT in the comments and you can have this cheat sheet for free. But you need structure. This is what SPOT stands for: structure, price level, order flow, and trade setup. The structure is the first part. And again, it's hard to believe how many traders don't even bother with this extremely important piece of a trade. And the structure is basically what you're looking for on a chart. Are you using the 20 moving average? Are you using Fibonacci levels? Are you using price action? There has to be some structure. I can't believe how many traders will find a stock that they hear about in the news, say it's Palantir, and come to me and say, is Palantir a buy? What do you think about Palantir? Without even bothering to look at the chart and where that stock is on the chart, given, again, whatever trade setup or technical analysis they're using. The next thing is price level. Where is the price of your stock in relation to your structure? Are you near the 20? Are you near a 50% retracement in a Fibonacci? What is your key technical indicator? And where is the stock in relation to that technical indicator? Order flow refers to the action that's taking place. Are you getting a power bar, right? A huge move at the 20 or off the 20? Are you getting topping tails as you get to a 50% retracement on a Fibonacci line? It's great if you're near that 50% level, but what's happening at that 50% level? That's the key. I won't just put a buy order in at a 50% level. I want something to take place at that level. Bottoming tails, if I'm looking to buy on a retracement from a nice move up. And the last piece of the SPOT framework is the setup. Okay, I've got my structure. Let's say I'm looking at using the 20 period moving average and I have an uptrend in place. So I have a structure I'm looking at. Where's the stock in relation to that 20 period moving average? Is it close to that moving average? Or is it far away from that moving average? And I'm looking for a retracement to that level. I have to know that price level. When it's sitting at that moving average, what's happening? Is it putting in bottoming tails? Am I getting a power bar that's moving in concert with that moving average? So it's a power bar higher, a big green power bar? Or am I getting a lot of little dojis, right? Small candles. And if I get that power bar set up, what's my stop? What can I look for as far as profitability in the trade? Am I close to a resistance level or not? What does my trade setup look like? What kind of risk reward am I willing to engage in with this trade? So that's the SPOT framework. I'm constantly just running this framework over and over intraday as I'm scalping intraday or for swing trades. It doesn't matter. So what I want to do is show you the beginnings of that framework and how I would apply it right now with the cues. I'm not going to show an actual trade. I'm literally in these first two areas, the structure and the price level, and I'm looking at the order flow clues right now to see if a trade is setting up. So let's look at the daily. So, right, this is more of a swing trade that I'm looking at than an intraday trade. This is a chart of the cues. This is the daily. And what I've done is put a Fibonacci sequence on my chart. The cues are clearly in an uptrend, but we had a reversal, right? This reversal on Thursday and Friday, July 31st, August 1st. We had a reversal. I put the Fibonacci numbers on. I put the Fibonacci sequence on, by going over here, Fibonacci retracement, clicking into the chart. I'll show you guys how I do it. I'm going to delete it off the chart. Click Fibonacci sequence, place your cursor here, and then pull down to the bottom and click. And now what you want to do is you need the high in this candle and the low in this candle to get this range. So the high, which you'll find right here when you're on the candle, is 574.63. Now I'm going to go to my settings for my Fibonacci lines, and under coordinates, I'm going to put in that high, 574.63. Click OK. And I'm going to put in the low from this candle, 551.68. Settings, 551.68. All right. And now I have my Fibonacci retracement in place. What I'm looking at with this structure that's in place, an uptrend and now a pullback, is a possibility to short on this retracement. This area between the 50% retracement and the 0.618% retracement is sort of a sweet spot for shorts. As you can see, we've gone through that level. So I'm sort of 50-50 on whether or not there's going to be a retracement and then a move lower, or we're just going to ignore this pullback completely and keep moving higher. But I want to look in this area, right? This is the structure I have with the Fibonacci's and the retracement. So how are the cues now acting at this key level? I'm going to drop down to a 15-minute chart. And you can see I still have those Fibonacci sequences on my chart. This was a resistance area after the pullback. After this pullback, right? So the cues went higher, tested, came back through, and you can see how it's bouncing off these Fibonacci levels and now is moving higher, right? So right now, I don't know if I want to put on a short at these levels because the cues seem to be moving through my technical levels where a short might be warranted. I'm going to drop down to the 5-minute and take a look, and it's still looking strong. But what I'm looking for to possibly set up here is a double top. You can see it on the 5-minute chart here and possibly here, but you can see it's not really acting the way it should yet for a short. So I have a structure. I have my Fibonacci sequence in place on a retracement as the cues are in an uptrend. I have my clear price levels identified, right? That 50% level. Let's go back to the daily for a second. And I know that the cues are near this retracement level where a short setup might come into play, but it's not quite there yet, right? And let's go back again to that 15-minute, and you can see it's not really playing out yet. So I don't have a trade to take yet, because if I go back to my structure, I've got the structure, I've got my price level that I'm watching, but the stock, the cues are actually behaving stronger than I want them to as of now for a setup. So I'm on sort of step 3 of this spot process with watching the cues right now. If the idea again is I want to play a short of a Fibonacci retracement, which is a classic standard setup in the cues. So when I apply my framework, I'm not there yet, right? I'm in the middle of the setup. I've moved from sort of here to here, but until the whole thing is complete and I actually have the trade set up, which in this case, again, what I would look for is a double top. So I would look for a large red candle here, right? That pulls me back into this 50 to 0.61% zone that maybe pulls back even to the 20. And then I get a power bar lower at that point. So there's some of the things that could happen that haven't happened yet in my framework. And again, this is something that I apply literally every time I'm doing a trade. Where's the spot? And then what is the setup? And I go into that a little bit more in this cheat sheet, like what kind of setups I'm looking for at those levels. And if you want a copy of this, just comment spot in the comments below and I'll send you a link to it. But you have to have that spot first. And this is how I go about finding that spot, which again, structure, price level, the order flow at that price level, and then the actual trade setup. And like I said, I walked you through a possible trade setup in cues, but it hasn't played out yet. So the spot framework hasn't completely played out. So for me, there's no trade yet on that retracement. Again, I know people that trade with technical indicators, and you may trade with Fibonacci's and you're doing an automatic short on that retracement because now you've had a possible change in the trend. But I want confirmation of that change. And that's why I'm running through, again, this framework constantly, whether it's scalping or I'm looking for more of a swing trade the way I am with the cues right now. So I hope that's helpful in sort of setting up your approach to a trade, that beginning approach. I have another video that I'll put a link to that talks about kind of finding that spot and then employing the setup. And I'll link to that here. It's really similar to me. I'm in New Hampshire now on vacation. That's why the background's a little different than my other videos. But one of the things that I do when I'm here is go fishing with my son just about every day. And one of the things that we do when we're fishing is we're able to identify a spot. It just made me think of it with this framework. Once you've fished long enough, just like if you've traded long enough, you can identify kind of where the fish are most likely going to be, where that spot is that you can find your setup, the fish. But that's something we're always looking to do, is find that best spot where the fish would be. And it really is like, what's the structure of the lake? Are there down trees at a certain spot where the fish you like to hang out? Is the water level correct, right? Has the reservoir been drained recently, or does it have good levels of water near where that tree is down? Are there bait fish, right? that are clues or they're bait fish for the largemouth bass that we're generally fishing for in the area. And then we're throwing in at that spot and looking to catch a fish off that setup. It's kind of corny, but you get the idea. It really is, finding that place. And that's what this spot framework does. So again, I hope it helps. Sorry if the analogy was a little bit corny, but thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe and share with anyone else that you know that is asking you all the time whether or not they should buy or sell a stock out of the blue. Send them this so that they at least have a starting spot to employ a trade. Thanks again.